Thursday evening. My name is Sandra Waldrop. If you're new here, this is Kingdom Acres. We do a lot of farmhouse and primitive style decor, DIY decor. Welcome in. This is my segment on Craft Around the Clock. Up next after my live, you will see Junk to Joyful. So I hope that in the group you will go ahead and refresh. You just swipe down from the top of your screen and she should be live right after me. So 9 o'clock she will be up and going. So what I have here in front of me, hello Miss Cynthia. I have a little wire basket from Dollar Tree, and normally it comes with the with some chains, 3 chains coming off of it, but I actually took those chains and made like a hanging faux vintage scale with them months ago, and I've just had this basket sitting in my back room, and I've come up with several things that I thought I could use it for, and it never really worked out. I even cut it here at one point, and I was like, no, it's not going to do what I want it to do. So today, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Y'all, how are we so close to fall? The leaves are falling in my yard. It's so beautiful. It's so serene. It's so lovely and amazing. I love it so much. But how are we here? How are we here? We just had New Year's, right? Like when this year has just flown by. Oh, hi, Kimry. So I am just, I don't know. I don't know who I am or what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep on keeping on with my lives and doing my stuff because I don't even know. I don't understand. Thank you, Kimmery. I don't even know how this has happened. Hi, Miss Darla. Darla, oh, that's an A at the end. Yes, Miss Darla. Gosh, my eyeballs are doing this. Y'all, my youngest child is sick. And I don't know, it's been 10 years now since I've had a newborn, and having a sick 10-year-old is the equivalent to having a newborn because they don't sleep, okay? So right now my eyeballs are a little cross-eyed, but we're going to make it through. We're going to make it through. You just know how it is when your kid is running a fever. Like you can't sleep. They're not sleeping. Hello, Miss Judy. And so... and y'all know me, I'm wacky anyways. I'm always just crazy, crazy, crazy. So anyways, tonight you just don't know what you're going to get out of me. I may go cross-eyed at some point. Hello, Miss Lori. Oh, the birthday party, Miss Darla. It was fantastic. We covered the church wall to wall in balloons and decor, and my best friend made the most beautiful backdrop for a Sunday bar. And so we did like a 3-part birthday for her. Hi, Michelle. Hi. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Cynthia. And so while we were at the church decorating, my oldest daughter took her on a scavenger hunt that I had put together for her to like keep her busy, but also it was part of like the birthday fun, right? Hi, Miss Amanda. Glenna, hello. I almost said good morning. You said good evening. I'm glad I caught the last part of that. Here we go again. And so she had her scavenger hunt all over town, getting coffee and donuts and shopping and going to Auntie's house to get her hair done, all those things. And then they came back to the church because she forgot the iPad at church, right? And she needed to stop and get it. And so she came in and we had the oh gosh, tinsel things hanging in the doorway, and she had to come through and see all the backdrops and stuff, and 10 years old. So we had like a table for the girls to do makeup and nails and all that fun stuff. So they just like had a blast. But then there was a part 3. Okay, so after we got everything done with the party, the church clean and all that stuff, then we loaded into the car with all of our bags. Secret bags, right? Because she didn't know about this. It was all a surprise. My husband had booked us a hotel, and we got 2 rooms because it was the grandma's plus me and my best friend, and then her 2 best friends, and then my 14-year-old daughter, her sister. So, oh, thank you, Miss Shonda. Miss Bonnie, hello. Glenda. Glenda Woodward, hello. Yes, Cynthia, it was amazing. It was so much fun. I've never had a birthday party like that, and I loved it so much. And so we went to the hotel, and the girls swam, and then we went to the room, and I laid in bed and talked to the grandmas. The ladies stayed in one room and the girls stayed in the other. Of course, it had like the door between so they could run back and forth and all that stuff. And heaven knows what they did in there. They ate all the junk and played makeup even more and just whatever. And I was so tired. I just laid there in bed. Hello, Miss Karen. Yeah, it was amazing. So much fun. Thankfully, my husband has hotel points, so that part wasn't too crazy for us. But we wanted to have a really big party for her because we don't do parties every year for every kid. We have 4 kids, right? And so that would just be insane. So we do 1 party per kid per year, and it's usually whoever's having a milestone birthday, or it goes on rotation. So I'm always trying to figure out who's having a party this year. Next year, it'll be the middle sister, right? Because she'll be turning 16, so she'll have her sweet 16, and we've been planning that already. So, anyways, I'm just going to I'm going to wrap this frame with fabric, right? Okay, let me show you. I've got this fabric, this like flannel type fabric, whatever it is brown flannel, okay? And then I have a real pumpkin top because I grew pumpkins in the spring. Oh, Miss Dina, yay! I'm glad you caught me alive too. And so I have all these pumpkin tops because I processed my pumpkins and canned my my pumpkin. So now I have, like, I was able to go ahead and pull off those tops and dry them out to use for crafts. So I actually have real pumpkin tops. If you don't have real pumpkin tops, you can still do this craft, right? You'll just use a stick, you can use fabric, you can use a doorknob pull thing, whatever you like. You can use a little block up here, just whatever you want. You could even just like do a bow, you know, do a fancy bow on top, and that would be cute also. But I'm just going to kind of go around here, and then I'm just going to roughly chop my fabric with my extremely dull craft scissors. They used to be my fabric scissors, and then I, you know, in the homeschool world, it's kind of an ongoing joke that we never know where our scissors are. Like, you would think that we would have so much stuff, and we do. We buy it all the time, but these children still are tape, and they still are scissors. We never know where the tape or the scissors are. Aww. Thank you so much, Miss Jackie. You are so sweet. Really, I love watching you, Miss Jackie. You are amazing. Oh, hello, Junk to Joyful. Yes, I already let everyone know you're up next too. 9 o'clock. You're going to catch my friend, Junk to Joyful. So I'm just going to tuck this in here. But I want to kind of have this kind of pulled in a bit because I want it to have that, that kind of ruffled look at the top. You see that? So I'm just pulling that in. And I don't know if Dollar Tree still has these. Again, I did a craft with the chains from this months ago, but they always have them. I know for a fact in the spring they do. And so, if you see them, grab them up because you can use these plant hangers, words, gluing. I'm horrible. So, I mean, just nab them up and you will not regret it because you can do so much with these little hangers. You just don't even know. So I'm just going to go around here. I don't want to really pull, but I want it to be taut. And I'm going to, I'm just trying to get these ends up, and then I'll do the center to make sure that this little pulled in part stays. So I'm just gluing right along. If you wanted to, you could like macrame this. I just did a macrame workshop with some of our 4-H kids. So we have fair coming up, and so they're wanting to do different types of projects and stuff. So I told them I would teach them macrame, and they, you know, it's like when you learn crocheting, right? You're all thumbs. You just, your hands don't move like that, you know. And so at first it was a little rough in the beginning, especially with the younger ones. But even with the teenagers, they're like, oh, is this right? Why isn't this doing that? That's not right. That can't be right. And so it was fun. Anyways, you can macrame this, and that would be so super duper cool. Super duper. If you wanted to do like a boho pumpkin situation, that would be a ton of fun. My daughter's finger. So, I had her go ahead and remove, and she's the one who's sick. This poor child, like, this poor child, I don't know, too much fun, right? I had her go ahead and remove the Band-Aid because I didn't like that it was staying moist all the time. I wanted that scab to go ahead and harden up. So, now that it's hardened up, it's good as long as she doesn't like bump it on something. And, you know, I told her when she sleeps, she can go ahead and cover it because she sleeps like a drunk octopus looking for his keys, okay? Like, I don't, just all arms and legs everywhere. Hi, Stacy. Yes, I missed y'all too. Oh, goodness. I just can't leave my baby, though. When she's sick, she wants all the cuddles. And, you know, she's got a rash all over her body. And I just could not leave her looking like that. Because if she needed me, then I would be running her somewhere, right? Just in case. When your babies are running fever or whatever, you want to stay close. So that's what I did. No regrets here, right? But I did miss y'all at D group tonight. I love my D group ladies. D group, for those of you who don't know, that's like a Bible study group for ladies. I believe they have one for men too, but I think it's called something else. Anyways, it's not my church that puts it on. It's actually, I think, Stacy, do you go to Life Foursquare? Oh, thank you, Miss Stacy from Vintage Grace Decor. Welcome, and thank you for the follow. Okay, I'm just putting down that extra flap in there. Anyways, it's a Foursquare curriculum, I think. I don't know. But I know that the Life Foursquare Church people are the ones doing it. So this is how it's looking right now. Just kind of pushing that in. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of pull it around and see where I need my glue. See, over here on this side, it looks kind of frumpy. I want to really like pull it in a little bit more so that you can see those lines. It's kind of like, I guess kind of like reversing it a little bit. I don't know. Okay. Kind of have it twisted here. I can just pull this down a bit. I'm gonna have to unglue that part right there. I don't like that. Unglue. That's one thing I love about hot glue. It's very forgiving for me, right? Because I am not a perfect person. So if I do something and I don't like it, I can just pull it up and redo. That's what I need, is redos. Okay. So, anyways, that's what I've been doing though. Just taking care of my sick kid, unable to do my things. Normally Thursday nights are my D group night, but we don't meet. We meet at like 5:30. So it's not a huge deal for me to go live at 8:15 because I could be home in time for that. I could be. Okay, I just put the glue over the top of that wire circle on the inside here and let it just seep down because it's pretty hot glue. So I'm just letting it seep on down so that it'll grab onto that fabric. Just like that. Doesn't that look cute? Oh, hot. It seeped onto me. It seeped. Okay. Aw, thank you so much, sweet friend. Thank you for the sprinkles. I appreciate that. All right. I'm just going to keep pushing that down, making sure it's stuck. I can probably add a little bit more right here because that fabric's still wanting to move. Okay. And I'll just... Now, I don't need the fabric to stay kind of pulled in, so I'm just kind of pushing it over the sides now like this so that it's not such a deep area. I want it to be kind of in because that's like a genuine pumpkin. Look how it goes in like that at the top. Wow, time just flies when I do these lives. How's it already 8:31? Thank you, Cynthia. How old is my daughter? So my youngest one just turned 10. And then I have a 14-year-old who will be 15 in November. And then I have a 19-year-old daughter. And then I have a 20-year-old son. So we've got every season of life except for like toddler newborn over here. So we are, we're just a moving and a grooving in the parenthood. Although I would not mind having another one and going back to the, oh gosh, honey, I need you. You can stand right there. You don't have to come on camera. I just need you to open this for me. Please. Oh, never mind. I got it. Never mind. I was calling on my knight in shining armor. But yeah, no, I still keep bugging him to have another baby. I still do. Hello, Miss Stacy. Welcome in. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to zhuzh it, right? I mean, it's cute, but I want it to have a little bit more, more style, right? More flair. So I'm just, I've got some cheesecloth and I'm just going to do a little bit of the coffee grunge. Mine is pumpkin spice coffee grunge. All right. If you're new to me here, I was in my kitchen making a fresh batch of coffee grunge using Miss Tracy's recipe. And while I was looking for my cheap vanilla from the Dollar Tree, I happened upon my pumpkin spice extract. And I was like, I didn't even know this was in here. And if I didn't know it was in here, then I'm probably not going to use it. And I'm going to forget about it. And how amazing would it be to have pumpkin spice smelling coffee grunge. And so I just dumped it in with all the rest of the ingredients. And then I also added some of my pumpkin pie spice. I've had this for a couple of years too. You can tell I'm almost through it. So like, I'm just going to use the rest of it in my crafts and buy some new this year. So, all right, we've got that going. Let me get this going in here. And just kind of put that around there. I haven't been doing much fall stuff, so I was like, man, I really need some fall decor projects. So about an hour ago, I was just like going through my craft room and looking at what I could. I froze on the last two daughters' age. So I've got my 10-year-old, my 14-year-old who will be 15 in November, and then my 19-year-old daughter and my 20-year-old son, Miss Amanda. Yes, I have quite, I'm quite blessed, right? I have quite the quiver full of arrows. But I would love more. Okay, this is Spanish moss. I went outside after I decided what I was going to do. And I was like, well, I'm going to need some Spanish moss. So I just went into my front yard and pulled some off of a tree. Which I'm glad that there was some to be had, because in the spring when I was doing a lot of gardening for my potatoes, instead of layering like dirt and straw, I layered dirt and the Spanish moss, because I didn't want to buy straw, and Spanish moss does the same thing, and it worked out great. So it worked. Why not? But it grew back. I had completely, like, just about, except for like where I couldn't reach, but I had just about stripped all my trees of the Spanish moss, and it's back. It came right on back. So I was happy about that, because now I can use it to mulch around my, all my stuff I'm fixing to plant, right? Because now is the time to start getting our broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts and all that kind of stuff planted. So I'm gonna be doing that. It's a never-ending chore. Aw, thank you, Miss Kelly. Hello. So I've got my fabric on my little frame here, got my cheesecloth, and then a little bit of that Spanish moss. Kind of looks like it could be a cake for right there, but let's see. I was kind of thinking, no, I won't do this yet. Okay, can probably go ahead with that. Look at that. Oh, isn't that cute? Oh. Aw, thank you. Thank you so much. So, anyways, yep. I will be getting my garden moving along even more. I had worked so hard in my spring garden, and in June we went camping, and I came back so sick. Oh, thank you, Miss Amanda. Let me scroll back up. I missed something. What state do I live in? Oh, yes, I live in Texas. I'm just south of Houston. So I live in a very humid climate, right? So it just grows abundantly here. And anyways, we went camping in June. And I came back and I was incredibly sick, like so sick. I was on my couch for like 3 weeks. And so some things died and some things just went wayward. And, oh, you got home from ooh, lasagna. I have a funny story about lasagna. A recent funny story. Okay, recent. My husband doesn't think it's funny, but I think it's funny. So I am fasting off of gluten and starches and grains for 75 days, right? November 15th, I'm eating a piece of pie, okay? But until then, I'm being a good girl. Well, my husband was saying he really wanted lasagna. So I went and I was like, okay, I'm going to make the lasagna, but instead of using the lasagna noodles, I used cabbage leaves. And you cannot, it doesn't taste cabbagey doing it like that. It does not taste cabbagey. You just do it the same way you would do your regular lasagna. You just layer in the cabbage leaves in place of your lasagna noodles. Okay. And you bake it and it's good to go. The cabbage gets cooked in the baking process. Well, my youngest daughter was like, Dad, Mom's making your favorite meal. And I was like, no, don't say that. Well, he was on the phone. He did not hear me say, no, don't say that. And he thought I was saying that I was making his favorite meal. And so he's eating it and he's like, I didn't get any noodles. And I was like, that's because there are no noodles, my love. This is a healthy version of lasagna. Yes, they do have gluten-free lasagna noodles, but not starch-free, right? Because they usually use lentils. Lentils are a starch, or potato flour or something like that. There's always some sort of starch mixed in. So I can't even have like the fake lasagna noodles. And he was just like, he was so disappointed. It was still good. He still ate it and he went back for seconds, but he was not happy. He was not happy. He was greatly displeased by the tease of his favorite meal. All right, so I'm just gonna get some of this raffia and I'm just gonna give it a little bit of this, maybe some of that. Yes, you can do zucchini. Yes. I can absolutely do zucchini, and I love zucchini. My people, on the other hand, are not big zucchini eaters. My husband loves zucchini also, but then it's the children. It's always one or the other. You know, when I was a kid, I did not have like a choice to be like, ew, what is that? What are you putting in there? Like, I either ate or I was having it for breakfast. Like, it wasn't even a starving thing. Like, my mom served me, and if I didn't eat it, like, that was gonna be my next meal. So I may as well just like get it in, right? At least enough to where it looks like, yeah, I ate dinner. My kids do not live the same life I lived. Ooh, I love eggplant. Yes, zucchini and squash. You know what I have learned to love doing the starch-free, grain-free stuff is butternut squash. I could eat that for every meal. Eat it with eggs, eat it with all the different things. Look at that. Isn't it cute? You could add lights. You could add pip berries. You could add all the things. Okay, let me set this to the side. And we're going to discuss the bells. All right. I've been trying to rest this cup of bells, right? I did the vinegar and hydrogen peroxide solution. And the Dollar Tree bells don't like to rest, okay? They are like a plastic, poly, some sort of synthetic something, and they're not resting, okay? However, yes, you'll eat or go hungry. I would prefer that option for some things. I didn't get the eat or go hungry. It was, you're going to eat that now or later. You can have it fresh or you can have it as a leftover. And I was like, it's not going to be as, like, it's not going to be good as a leftover. Anyways, so these did not want to rust. Let me see if I can show you the one that I pulled out. I had pulled it out and wiped it off, and it just looks like the metallic like sealant or whatever that they put on there. It just comes off, okay? However, when you dump out the liquid, okay, I used hydrogen peroxide vinegar, and then I ended up adding salt because somebody had said add salt. They still did not rust. But when you dump out the solution and then you just dump it out onto a paper towel, all the gunk that came up and did turn rusty kind of attaches itself to your bells. So I'm just going to leave these here to dry with the stuff on them, and then just don't wipe them, right? Don't wipe them. Just let them dry with the stuff, because the stuff is in the solution. It comes up and it oxidizes and it's in the solution. Once you empty your cup, that's when you'll see the stuff reattach to the bell. There's a whole, apparently there's a secret to it, and I was unaware. And so I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. I could have done this days ago, but look at that. It's rusty looking. The bell itself is not actually rusty, but it looks rusty because the stuff got on it. Squash doesn't appeal to you. If it doesn't look good, I won't eat it. Man, that is like, that's the story of my life with these kids. If it doesn't look like something they want to eat, then they're not going to eat it. I'm like, come on, give me a break. I need one. My friend sent me like a reel or a short or whatever you want to call it off of Instagram. And it was a video of the Wendy's like box where they take your order, all like somebody had hit it and it's laying there. It's like, hello, can I take your order? And she's like, this is you. I'm just like laying there. Can I take your order? Oh, so funny. Anyways, so I'm just going to take one of these safety pins and one of these larger rusty-ish bells, and I'm going to stick that on there. How much? I still have like 15 minutes. Nice. Okay. So that means I have time to look for a little label to add, but look at that. Isn't that cute? So it looks rusty. It looks rusty. So I'm happy with that. And you could antique wax this and, you know, give it some different elements. You could even like spray it with your coffee grunge to make it, to dull it up a little bit, right? To give it more of that primitive look. I brought over my, I was looking at my iPad. I was going to print out a label, but I think that I can probably just do something up with what I've got, right? Let's see. Let's see what we can come up with. Looks or smells, don't like to eat. Yep. Yeah. Oh gosh. So I tried to take my friend to this Mexican restaurant that I but I used to frequent, right? But since then they've changed hands, and they, I don't know what they did, but I was going to take my friend there for her birthday to go like get breakfast tacos. And we walked in, and the smell, and I'm standing there and I'm looking at her and I'm looking at the place, and the smell is just like taking over. And I was like, do you really want to eat here? And she's like, I don't care. It's up to you. And the lady's looking at me like all happy and sweet. And you know that she doesn't like know, like she's desensitized to it or whatever. or maybe that's the way it's supposed to smell in there. I don't know. But I just, like, after standing there for like a solid 5 minutes, I was like, I can't do it. I can't eat here. And so I was like, thank you. I'm sorry. Goodbye. So we just walked out. I couldn't do it. I couldn't, you know, it was her birthday breakfast too. So I didn't want to feed her something that was potentially going to create another scene off of that movie, Bridesmaid, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay. It's been forever since I've seen that movie. But you know what scene I'm talking about. Eggplant? No, eggplant does not have a bitter taste. So I like to go to Italian restaurants and get the eggplant parmesan. That is so good. It is so good. I love eggplant. And I kind of went through this phase where I wanted to ferment everything. And I had an eggplant, a couple of eggplant plants in my garden. And so I had an abundance of eggplants, and I was the only one who would eat the eggplants. And so I was like, I'm going to ferment this. Oh my goodness. So good. You'd rather starve than eat something that looks, yeah, I'd rather just not eat. I would rather not eat than have things go awry. Like the thought of things coming up kind of, it freaks me out because I feel like I'm not going to be able to breathe. I know. I'm probably really weird, but I will do everything in my power to not let that happen. So if it means starving, it means starving. Because I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to risk it at all. Oh goodness. The things I discuss on these lives, y'all. All right, so I just went over this piece of cardboard with some antiquing wax. Just painted it on there. I decided I can't bring cups of water to the table anymore because I forget them. Because I'm like, well, the brushes are in water, they're fine, right? I'm going to be live again tomorrow or the next day. This is what's going on in my head. I'm not actually going to be live tomorrow, but that's what's going on in my head, and so I'll leave it. Well, I've got all this mess. I've got bags. I've got, you know, my bag with all of my, like my junk in it, you know, just sitting here, like, just whatever, all sorts of things. The cat came in and knocked over my paint cup, my paint water cup, and stained my table. So I'm not bringing water to the table anymore. Yeah, it doesn't sound. Does not. So, but anyways, I love me some squash. I love me some eggplant. And I will do all the substitutions. But when my husband is expecting the real deal, he does not like when he's unpleasantly surprised with something else. Oh goodness. I'm just gonna cut a little hole here. Okay. I'm just making an X so I can get a string through. It's fine, it's fine. Don't mind me. All right. So I've got a little hole happening there. Set that off to the side. And now, let's see here. How am I going to... What am I going to put on this? I've got a little black Sharpie here. I had another black Sharpie visible in this bag before I picked it up. Let's see. Got a pencil. That's probably a good idea to kind of let's see. Oh, it's gonna look like a duck. I want a crow on here, but let's see. I'm just gonna look up an image on my iPad real quick. So, primitive crow. And then I go, so I type that in the search and then I push images, and it gives me all these options. Your husband would throw it out. He doesn't do many veggies. My husband, when we first got together, he was not one who would do veggies, like, at all. Okay. But he has gotten, he has gotten very, I want to print this. Let's see. Nope. I don't want to buy. It's like a save to photos. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. This is what I do. I'll just like save the image to photos. This is actually like a wooden something that Walmart sells. So once I get it saved to photos, I can open it up in my Pages app, okay? Because I'm not trying to order what they're selling. I just want the image. Okay, so I'm going to add in the photo. Okay, and then I can make it small. How small? Probably fairly small for this. I'm just trying to think of how big I need it for the piece of paper, right? We'll try this. Okay. Print. Okay. Hopefully that'll be small enough, but also big enough. Lily, will you bring me from the printer, please? Because I get lucky with drawing sometimes, but that's when I'm alone. I am not an artist when it comes to like drawing, painting, creating things freehand. I'm not that person. Oh, perfect. Look at that. I shrunk it down and it came out perfect. So now I can just cut it out. Cut that out. I've got 4 minutes. I can make it happen. I can cut this out in 4 minutes and get this on here. I hope. Maybe if I had actual crafting scissors that were not dull. You know what I should do? This is what I do. I don't know if y'all do this to sharpen your scissors, but I get a piece of foil and I cut the foil, and that sharpens your scissors. I have not done it to these scissors. I've done it to several other scissors, but not these ones. So I need to give that a try before I just abort mission on these, because they're to the point now where they're like not even wanting to really cut paper. You can just trim off all that white right there. And around. So that was super simple, right? So pretty much any image that you can Google, you can print for free. I mean, I wouldn't do that for something that you're selling. Like this is just for my use, right? If I were doing this for something that I were selling, I would definitely try to find something on like Etsy, so that by purchasing that image, like I actually have like rights to it, like merchant rights to it or something, right? Because a lot of those Etsy people create specifically for that. Plus, when you do that, you are supporting another small business owner. So I think that's also very important as well. But for this purpose, just a quick image. And I'm going to glue down. Got 2 minutes. Oh gosh, okay. This is my grunge glaze that I've mixed with the clear school glue and the coffee grunge recipe. All right, there we go. I think this is the same one that I've used for everything. I did the grunge first, and then I did the antiquing wax with this same sponge. So I'm just gonna go over this. And if there's any white bits, you won't be able to see it because I went over it with that antiquing wax. So blend in right in, and that'll just dry up for a second. Anywho, all right, got this. You get a little piece of jute here. Stick this through the little hole that I made. Come on, get on through there, get on through there. So anyways, after me is Junk to Joyful again. So once you leave here, be sure you go back to Craft Round the Clock and refresh your page so you can see Miss Junk to Joyful, because I know she has an amazing fall craft for you, and I might have cut this a bit short. That's okay. I'm just gonna make it go. All right, and then I'm gonna glue this on here right quick. Just give a dollop of glue, and I'm actually just going to stick that knot right on there for that, and another little bell, because why not? Why not? If I had a rusty star, I would do a rusty star, but I have a bell, so that's what we're doing. Another little rusty bell. I might take this one off, but anyways, there you go. Isn't she cute? Cute little pumpkin. All right, guys, y'all head over, check out Junk to Joyful, and thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for making a homemade home with me today, and y'all take care. Bye.